On the 25th of September, 3 days before my birthday, Almir and Andreas went live and started doing a Q&A. This Q&A contained not only a lot of details regarding what they are currently working on, which is on the game's performance, as well as server stability, but they also gave us an actual answer on offline mode. This stream not only answered a lot, but also relieved a lot of stress and anxiety I had for the game. So, I've gathered most of the potent parts from the stream and compiled them here for you. I do suggest checking out the full stream, as it did answer a few more things that might be what you're looking for. From console and PlayStation fixes to confirmed patches, starting off the stream, they gave this company statement, which talked about the instability of the game.
I just want to read the statement that we as a studio did earlier today, where we talked about the server issues that you've been experiencing. PAYDAY 3 matchmaking infrastructure has not performed as tested and expected. Matchmaking software encountered an unforeseen error, which made it unable to handle the massive influx of players. The issue caused an unrecoverable situation for Starbrade's third-party matchmaking partner. A new version of the matchmaking server software was gradually deployed across all regions, leading to improved performance. However, a software update made by the partner during late Sunday, that's last night, again introduced instability to the matchmaking infrastructure. The partner continues to work to improve and stabilize PAYDAY 3's online system. The issue in question did not manifest during the technical betas or early access due to the specificity of rapid user influx and load balancing. Starbreeze, we, are currently evaluating all options, both short and long term. In the short term, this means our focus is to ensure that your player experience. In the long term, this means us evaluating a new partner for matchmaking services and making PAYDAY 3 less dependent on online services.
Offline mode is something they cannot immediately work on, as server stability is the #1 priority at the moment. They do say that every option is currently on the table, so I do think that they will be working on something that could help. Possibly peer-to-peer, maybe just an offline mode. Whatever the case, they're working tirelessly to try and fix servers, as well as work on ways for players to play without dependence on servers.
Which is, what means less dependent on online services? Well, what it means is that everything is on the table for us right now. There are questions about offline mode in chat, how we are going to move forward. We cannot give, right now, a clear yes or no answer on this topic, because it's 4 days since launch. We did not foresee the incredible difficulties you've had logging onto the games, and we will address that and answer that properly as soon as we can.
Also, I want to say that we're constantly monitoring what you guys want to see. Obviously, offline mode is one of those things, but we're also seeing a lot of requests from the game itself, quality of life updates and so on. So I just wanted to mention that we are seeing that, we are evaluating it, but I also want to say that, like Almir said, like we can't commit to things in this live stream here, because everything that we want to do means people working on it, right? And evaluating how much time it takes to actually do something and so on.
Much later in the stream, Almir explained a bit more on why they couldn't be any clearer about the offline mode.
Can you be more clear about offline mode, asks Elide Jesus 608. Unfortunately, right now we cannot be more clear. What we can say is what we did in the earlier company statement we did today. Every option for us is on the table. We are currently evaluating the best way forward for PAYDAY 3. Launch did obviously not go as intended. The servers have not been holding up as we intended. For that we've apologized, and we now need to evaluate every possibility we have in front of us and see what the best way forward is for the game experience, but also of course for you, the players out there.
One of the most asked questions, besides offline mode, was why the game is always online. Almir explained in more detail here.
I have a comment regarding why the game is always online for now. When looking at what worked and didn't with Payday 2, we wanted to find a way to avoid the negative aspects of Payday 2, among those rampant cheating and unreliable hosting. In addition, we want to ensure we kept our commitments to the console community and maintained one Payday community across all platforms. To deliver on that and other possible additions such as cross-progression, leaderboards and more, we needed to ensure that every player is on the same version of the game with stable hosting across all platforms. And neutral hosting outside of the platforms would solve that. Rest assured that everyone who can do anything to remedy the problems is working on it. We will do our best to answer the other questions and suggestions we've seen so far, but with the team focused on solving our biggest problem, these other matters will most likely have to wait. So right now, what that means is that the servers are still not stable. Alright? We are working on making sure that they are for now. We are evaluating every other potential way forward, and we're looking to make your experience as good as it possibly can be as soon as we can.
Moving on to confirmed fixes and upcoming patches, Andreas talked about an aim assist fix in an upcoming patch for PlayStation players.
So we have a list of a bunch of improvements that we want to do to controllers. I cannot confirm in this meeting exactly what those are going to be, but it's a part of the things that we are evaluating. What I can confirm for PlayStation 5 players is that for the upcoming patch that you're getting, aim assist has been fixed.
Speaking of patches, here's a few bug fixes, updates, and patches coming out on October 5th, and a bug fix as well as a content / quality of life update coming out later in October.
I'm also seeing questions around when the next updates are going live. So we have a patch coming out on October 5th that is solving a bunch of bugs, and we're going to share the patch notes for that as we get closer. Then we have another patch planned for later in October, which obviously is going to solve bugs as well, but it's also going to be a bigger focus on quality of life updates. Something that I can share for the patch that is coming out later in October as well, and I understand that what everybody wants now is just being able to play the game, right? But something that I can share that we are dropping for free in that update is a new skill line that is called Transporter. And the reason we're dropping that as well is that it has been a skill line that has been requested in the Payday community for a very long time. So I'm not going to spoil every single skill, but I can spoil one, being able to carry 2 bags.
Now, while they did reveal some new things upcoming, such as a small QoL update, and even a new skill line, there was a good few amount of chatters who expressed their feelings, both good and bad.
I see Lethal Skills saying, "Fix your freaking game." So the team, everyone except me and Andreas, because we're here talking to you now, are working around the clock together with our third party we mentioned earlier to make sure that the game works as intended for you all. Okay, we take this very seriously, and we're doing our best in order to make sure you guys get the experience you paid for, and so that you can play the game properly. Fosty says, "How are you all sat here answering questions like the game's working?" I think the purpose of this Q&A is to establish that the game is not, the servers are currently not being as stable as we want them to be. Hence, the gameplay experience is not working as intended. The purpose of us sitting here is to address that, to talk to you directly, to answer questions like yours, Fosty, and to keep an open communication line between you and the community and us developers, making sure that we are as transparent as we possibly can be with you.
Taking criticism is something that many devs do, and they usually do it behind closed doors, and do it through singular posts and updates on social media. Few devs are able to face criticism live, and that is commendable. Moving on though, I have a small collection of interesting features and evaluated things coming within the future of Payday 3. Andreas talked about quality of life things being evaluated, such as UI, chat and lobby, muting the contractor and unready button for lobbies, the ability to rename loadouts, mouse and keyboard support for consoles, and even quick play. Almir also confirmed that a modding policy was being made, and that they knew of the mods already being released.
So, will there be any official modding in Payday 3? No official modding support has been announced so far for Payday 3. We are aware that our modding community is too committed to be stopped by that mere fact, however, and we're working on getting a modding policy written.
A possible Safehouse feature was talked about for the far future, possibly.
Crispy Matthew on YouTube says, will there be a safe house like in Payday 2? There is currently no safe house in Payday 3. When we launched Payday 2, the safe house feature was not on par with what we'd liked at the time, and we received a lot of critique from the community at the time for that as well. A few years later, we added a new safe house that was much more appreciated, and I definitely see in the post-launch an opportunity for us to create a safe house. When that is exactly is yet to be confirmed. If that will be an interesting feature or not, that's up to us as a development team to think about properly and see how it aligns best with the Payday 3 experience.
And they also talked about in detail on what the team is doing right now.
There are essentially two things we're doing right now. One is the team focusing on establishing server stability, and the other is obviously to continue working on the game, right? We have a post-launch campaign that we have started to prepare for you all, featuring new characters, new heists, new quality of life features, and much more. We're continuing to work on that as well. But given that we did not expect these technical issues, we have to reprioritize and focus on making sure that the servers are stable, right?
With all of these problems at launch, I wouldn't be surprised if a possible delayed release of future content occurred. And what Almir just said basically confirms that possibility. Next, they talked about heist payouts, changes to it, and even Houston.
Will rewards from heists be rebalanced? Looking primarily at Dirty Eyes, says Ervinox. So I think when it comes to rewards from any heist you play in the game, payouts, etc., those are things that the team is looking into in the post-launch and will possibly nerf certain heists, buff other heists, all depending on what we agree on. But it is still early days. Like, we launched the game Thursday. It is Monday today, and I think we need more time to revise that before we do any changes to any of the heist payouts. Are there any chances that Houston will come back as a playable character, says Dragonic? Maybe. I think it depends where Horton is, aka Houston.
Crew AI possibly coming back in the future.
There's a bunch of questions about Crew AI and adding more features to them and the possibilities to customize them and so on. We've seen a lot of that, and it's one of those features where we will continue to monitor and see what you guys want to see to add more value to the Crew AI. So it's not on top of our priority right now, but it's definitely one of the options that we're looking into for the future.
As well as the
So I
Jukebox.
think what you mean by old songs is that in Payday 2 you are able to have a Jukebox feature where you can add and mix whatever song for a heist you'd like. That was a post-launch feature that we added for Payday 2. That is something we're evaluating for Payday 3. Nothing we have confirmed so far.
They confirmed that they will be adding free heists in the future. Whether these will be released alongside the paid ones is to be seen, but I am glad there will be more content released as well.
Elumeris asks, will there be free heists and weapons, especially older ones from Payday the Heist or Payday 2? We have said that we will add free heists and additional free content to the game. We have not confirmed any classical heist or anything from Payday the Heist or Payday 2 for Payday 3 as of now.
Now, this next thing, it actually got me quite hyped a bit. I won't lie. But they basically confirmed something coming around Halloween.
Any plans for Halloween? Asks Lokmana. Maybe is our question to that. We don't want to spoil anything if we now have anything planned.
I don't know if it'll be a heist, possibly a character, mask, maybe guns. I don't know, but I cannot wait to see what comes out. Finally, They talked about new and possibly returning Heisters.
What I can confirm today is, yes, we're going to release new Heisters in Payday 3, and I think we need to find a balance of having old ones return and introducing new ones. But at this stage, we're not ready to confirm who's coming next and so on. But that is definitely on the table, yes.
At the end of the day, there is one thing that I can say about this stream and what it made me feel. And that is that I am 100% confident that this game can get past this bad part of its launch and get past all this negativity brought onto the brand. I know that Almir, Andreas, and the rest of the team is very passionate about the future of this game and this community. They want to provide a game for us that they can be proud of. And while the early access showed that that can be achieved, this game is simply in its earliest state of its launch. Problems are going to be there, and they wholeheartedly have said multiple times that they did not expect this all. Even with the break the servers beta they did, so many people were excited. So much so that we completely broke their expectations and their servers. I believe that they can continue working on and deliver us the experience they want to, what we deserve. And for them to come out and speak to us directly, taking strong criticism live, it gives me high hopes. Now, I'm going to leave you with this part from the stream, and it really speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to you as much as it did to me. Anyway, love you all, stay safe, stay heisting,
So that you can play
know
the
that
game properly.
you matter, and I'll see you.
Mario Fluffy says, what is going to be done to make up for the negative review and people who left? Even if you bring servers back at this point, those negative reviews and bad memories are gonna stay. That's a great question. I think the important thing to realize is we did not expect for the launch to go this way. We are very apologetic regarding that. We apologize. That was not our intent. However, this is not the end. This is the beginning. We launched the game just a few days ago. We're looking to address all of the issues that are being talked about within the community. But we can only do so much given the fact that we're 4 days from launch. We're working on all the issues, and I think as soon as we come past this part and the game works as intended for you, and you can play the game and start focusing on feedbacking the game rather than saying the servers aren't working, what the frick, then we can, then I think we'll be a stronger community for it. We've had situations in the past within Payday where we as developers have not made the right calls. We've come through those with you as a community, and we definitely look to do the same this time. Riceru says, are you going to bring back Giancarlo Esposito as a voice actor for the game? If you know Payday 2 storyline, no. Then we do not.
They're trying to hide the truth!